Hey there, welcome back to ExoSpace Combat Engineer. I'm building a spaceship. I'm using it to fight various ships as I'm making my way through ExoSpace on the way to a bounty hunt. We're going to continue salvaging, shooting, and building out the ship. As soon as you jump in, a transport ship hails, "Help, we're under attack by Reavers." Don't worry. I am now a laser barge, and anything and everything that approaches me will get defeated. Well, he said enthusiastically and got his whole ship blown up. Okay. Maybe that didn't quite work out as well as I'd hoped. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's go into that beacon. I really need to unlock heavy armor somewhere. Yes, yes. Oh, they want to take me out first. Righto. I'm not so sure if these things are actually dealing any kind of damage. It really doesn't feel like they are. Or not nearly enough, anyway. Keep the starboard side. Oh, we got one. Boom. That's the second one. Now we're going to thrust away. Shooting anything that happens to approach me. That's another one gone. Yeah, they're definitely getting zapped by those lasers pretty well. Could you give me a second to rebuild, please? Thank you. Much appreciated. Alright. Now I need to start taking this big guy down. Potentially some of the smaller ones first. Look at how exposed my core block is. Hello, civilian. Mind if I use you as bait for a second? Okay, so then I'm down to one ship? Two. Oh crap, they just knocked out my power generation, I think. Piss off. I need to repair. I'll be back with you shortly. This is why having forward thrust is rather important. Not having that means you're going to pretty much be at the mercy of whoever's chasing you. Come on. Hit the core block. Got it. Oh, really? He got me? Come on. So close. Ooh, he dropped something exotic, I think. Let's try that again. Distress beacon. I'm going to keep silent. I'm not going to ignore their cries for help. I am just going to sort of sneak up on these bastards and then shoot them in the back. Especially this big guy needs to go. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye. Wait, they already destroyed the ship? That's suboptimal. I really need to do a better job arming this ship. Just keep shooting torpedoes back at them. Boom. I might be able to make this a missile barge, like a really fast missile boat that just keeps running away until such a time as when either the enemy's been destroyed or I feel strong enough to face them directly. I'm out of power. Boom. Thank you. Unlocked light armor trapezoid. Anything else? No. Unfortunately, the civilian didn't quite make it. That sucks. Okay, let's go head over to the other trader. I don't really have that much to trade, but I got quite a bit of money. Maybe we can use that. Ooh. Reavers are waiting. They don't attack immediately. They'll let you pass if you pay us handsomely. Never. If you want to fight me, fight me. I've taken on more of your kind before. And mostly by bravely running away. Doing some damage, and then waiting for part of the ship to regenerate. Unfortunately, I am rapidly running out of thrust. Boom. There goes one. Boom. Boom. You dropped something interesting. I'm gonna check what that is. Boom. Reavers destroyed. 1000 metal. Thank you. And that is a heavy armor rhombus and the heavy armor rhombus 2. Heavy armor pentagon. Edit the ship. What do we got? Armor. Heavy armor rhombus. What a weird shape to work with. I might be able to use it though. Let's take these parts off and these and these. Because these are all light armor. That's basically 21 health. And these things have 44 health and 71. Substantial improvement. The challenge will be to actually build with them into something that looks halfway like a normal ship. I don't think we're quite going to get to anywhere near halfway a normal ship. Also, these blocks are probably a lot heavier, so my thrust is going to be pretty heavily impaired. So be it. Okay, so now we got some more heavy armor on the bow. Let's make sure we get some more heavy armor on the stern. Especially those blocks are very vulnerable. There. Regarding firepower, I have 7 left. Did they give me a new weapon? Not really. Got the defense beam turret, got the light plasma thrower. No. The light spinal beam cannon means I have to point at the enemy, which I don't want to do. What I do want to have happen is change up some of my defense beam turrets for more weapon or more missile launchers. So it's going to be a bit more missile bargey. Oh crap, we don't have enough blocks for that. Okay, I need to start sacrificing something else. Those things are really expensive. Yeah, really expensive. Okay, get me another... I got, let's see, missile. So that's 5 missile launchers and then a bunch of beam turrets. And add another one. I think that's about it. I got 30 left. Alright, accept. Okay, now we can jump once more. Let's go to the trader. Alright, contact the trader. What do you have, sir? You have light armor triangles, exploding rectangle. I'm not sure why you would want that. And we have access to additional stuff like that, additional weapon crystals. That can come in handy, but I don't really have enough metal. I can buy a decent bunch though. Because I got a bunch of cash that I'm mostly sitting on. Okay, edit the ship. It doesn't really have any interesting parts, but I can probably use some additional missile launchers. Ugh, not enough. Okay, take that part off. Okay, so now we have loads and loads and loads of missile launchers. And we can... well, we can just about afford to fire those. Okay, let's see if we can find something to fight. Where are we gonna go? Neutron forged civilian ship. At this point, I'm almost as big as that civilian ship. Good day, sir. Goodbye. So that was fast. He gave me a small power unit, rectangular. Okay. What the hell are those? Mines? Whoa, that just blew up half the ship. Okay. So what is that? It's an energy block. Generating 4 gigawatts only. They do have more health. And they're a battery... oh, they're a battery and a generator in one. Okay. So that stores 88 gigawatts. This stores 30. It takes up less space on the ship, potentially. Let's add 1. Because I can't really afford another one. Alright, jumping into the asteroid field. The asteroid field is rich and has multiple items. Ooh, look at that. If you see this, that means that's tritium. Now this is why I typically keep one part, or at least one sort of directed energy weapon aboard the ship. Because missile launchers alone wouldn't be able to do this. Oh, sorry, it's not tritium, it's exotic matter? Yes, exotic matter. Thank you. Any additional ones? Yep, there's additional metal here. You can mine all of these things if you wish to, but I find it's not really worth your time. These are better. Come on. There you go. That generates at least 100 metal. So that's nice. I'm going to do some additional mining. Let's see how this new ship of mine is going to do in combat, because there's a bunch of reavers nearby. Already I'm seeing much less damage to the ship. Boom. All the missiles. That almost blew off the whole bow of the ship. Goodbye. Okay. All the reavers are gone. They've left behind a small thruster. Unfortunately, they didn't leave behind any fuel. So we're once again going to send out a distress call and hope for the best. And what the best is... a reaver. Phenomenal. Well, unfortunately for you, I've dealt with bigger fish. That's one. Anybody else want to have a go? Thank you for fuel. I'll take that. I might be able to edit the ship a bit more and add another energy generator and or additional firepower. For now, though, I don't have that much. 700 is going to go very quickly. If I can add another one of those batteries, though, I would like to do that. I visited another trader, and he's selling the light pulse cannon for 2261. I have no idea what that weapon is, or how good it is. So let's have a look. Weapons. The light pulse cannon. Average range, high rate of fire. Woo, you're big. That's a really big gun. And how much damage does that do? 66 damage. By contrast, these things do 8. So yeah, you're looking at substantially more firepower. Rate of fire of these is, well, every 0.03 seconds. So every 0.3 seconds, these things... Sorry, that's these. These things fire continuously. These have a range of 3,000, if I'm reading this correctly. Okay. That would probably warrant the upgrade. As for the missile launchers, they have a damage of 37. So even the missile launchers have less damage output than these things. Now, I have tons of metals mined, so I can probably make do with adding a whole bunch more. Where are we going to put those? I'm going to take these parts off. And I might actually sacrifice a couple of missile launchers in their place. First, let's see what they do. Oh, rate of fire is pretty good. Energy usage is still fine. Okay. I'm going to sacrifice all my beam turrets, because I don't feel like I need those anymore. I'm going to take these things off. I'm going to then add these. No, you can't quite do that. These are all the missile launchers. This is not necessarily a great place for a missile launcher. Now let's rebuild the ship. Because I can also probably use some of those new thrusters. Alright, so cannon, cannon. That's one too many. Okay, let's remove this thing. It's a light missile launcher, and then we get enough. How much do I need to generate? 73 gigawatts. That's substantial. I do have those things, which generate 4 gigawatts each. That's not exactly a whole lot. But they also store the energy, so... We're gonna... we're gonna have a warp core. Yeah, I don't have enough antimatter for that. Okay, I got 61 gigawatts, which is not enough to fire all the weapons. I think, however, that if I fire all these guns, enemies will typically evaporate, or, well, get evaporated very quickly. Alright, so let's start adding heavy armor. The Pentagon block could work. Sort of building a brick. As long as my heavy armor keeps up, I think we'll be fine. The challenge is going to be to make these things fit. I might need to top them off with Oh, actually, we also got these. It looks weird, but I think it does the trick. Adding thrusters to this thing is going to be an interesting experience. Where are we going to put those? I do have these now, the small triangular thruster, which give me 10. And if I'm reading this correctly, your burst is 200%. These have 300% thrust if you burst them. Okay, if I want to put those on, we might need to use some of these blocks. Yeah, I guess something like this, like building out a structure. And then going with these thrusters here. I actually got pretty decent forward thrust out of that. That's quite good. Quite good. Reverse. Can I fit those in there somewhere? Well, sort of. I can fit them there. That won't give me reverse thrust, but it'll give me strafing. Which I simply don't do. How about adding them there, but then... Is that going to give me reverse? 0.2 reverse. Decent. Okay. Let's take these off. I don't need as much forward thrust as I need reverse. So if I can fit a couple more, that'd be great. Ideally, I would do that there, but the ship is so, well, dense. What about adding them here? Like that. That can work, I guess. Okay, battery stored for 2.5 seconds. That's not a whole lot. So if I want to store more energy, I can. Because these things are very easy to build. They just require metal, nothing else. And I got 8,000 left. So I can easily start storing a whole bunch of energy. And with that, get a sort of alpha strike potential. Just throw an enormous amount of firepower at the enemy. And probably blow everything up. I can keep that up for about 9 seconds. Now, let's start finding a block that's a bit easier to work with. Again, gotta protect the stern. If I don't, she'll just get blown up. Especially once they start getting behind you, it's going to be a problem. I got 4,500 points left. Okay, we're going to double up on the armor then. How? Yeah, a bit like that. Remove that. As long as I can keep my bow towards the enemy, they're going to have a really bad time. The problem is, though, my thrust is awful. I will not be going anywhere, let alone in a hurry. Which in some situations can be a problem. Can I add them there? Not in mirror mode. I can add a couple there. I can add a couple there. We're now at 0.4 and reverse 0.2. What does that feel like? Feels like we're barely moving. This is with thrusters engaged. Like full thrust. Doesn't feel like a whole lot. Doesn't feel like a whole lot. Also, the ship's kind of butt ugly. You can add details. You can add paint. So if you wish to, you can just change the whole look of the ship. Generally, I don't really care about that much. As for additional thrusters, maybe some here. That's the wrong way. Actually, it's not necessarily the wrong way. Because that will allow me reverse thrust. Put these in forward mode. There. There. 0.6 forward. 0.3 reverse. Not bad. I still have 2,000 points left. So I can still turn this thing into even more of a brick. And make sure that I survive a lot longer. Here goes. We got maneuverability. Ish. We just don't have any fuel. We're going to send a distress call. Let's see who turns up. We have drifted off. The Reavers are here. Alright. Well, on their heads be it. Yeah, this is pretty potent. It feels like my ship is taking damage, but the heavy armor is holding its own. Very good. The ship is so much bigger now. Oh, we got a lot of rotating joints. Interesting. Goodbye. Well, well, well. Let's go bring the fuel aboard. Let's go bring aboard whatever they left behind. And continue our journey. After doing another jump, I'm now in Syndicate, or Shadow Syndicate territory. And this starbase has locked onto me. I'm going to repay the favor. And start knocking off their turrets. While trying to keep most of my armor towards the enemy. The good news is I can just rotate through my armor. And make sure that they don't really get that much opportunity to keep blasting one part of the ship. As long as I can start damaging some of their modules, that'd be great. Right now, I don't really know if I got enough firepower to make it to their core. I don't think I do. I might be rebuilding the ship soon. But I guess so will they. Although, actually, I'm no longer taking damage. They're taking damage. So, there we go. I'm rebuilding. And now they're rebuilding as well. I might need to reverse into this thing. Just start popping. Ooh, they got Sea-Wiz. Look at all those missiles of mine getting popped. Well, at least that means they're not targeting me directly. Okay, reverse. Just start breaking through here. Make sure we can get at that core block. Because without that, we are definitely not going to be destroying this base. And look at that, it's already regenerated. As long as we're in a combat area, I can't exactly repair the ship. Or sorry, I can repair the ship, I can't rebuild the ship. Come on, I need to keep pushing on this side before they rebuild it. I might need to take out that assisting turret of theirs first. Although it seems to be much more interested in defeating my missiles rather than doing anything else. Hey, you do you. Now it's engaging my ship directly. Come on, we're almost through. Unfortunately, I don't have enough juice anymore. I'm going to take this thing out first. This satellite station of theirs. Because I can potentially deal with the station. I cannot deal with the joint firepower. Oh, there it is. It's rebuilding. Keep pushing. And we can just... Whoa! Okay, I can't exactly ram a station apparently. That didn't quite work. Slight overhaul to the ship. We now have 6 of those pulse cannons, and that should give me a whole bunch of firepower. Only 3 missile launchers left, and I made a very sizable spike to the front of the ship to make sure that I can take on some bigger threats. We're now all the way over here, so we're definitely approaching our destination. Let's go to the Shadow Syndicate. It is hostile. They don't like me. Well, let's see if that turns out to be a problem. Oh, it has a station. Okay. That'll be interesting. That's one. This is very much a ship that intends to keep its bow on the enemy. Otherwise, it might... Well, I gotta say, the stern's pretty heavily armored too. Without the bow pointing at the station, I might not have a decent chance of survival. Right. Let's pick up some of the salvage. And then go forward again. And see if I can take out that base. Because I wonder if that base has a whole bunch of goodies for me. It does seem to have a sort of defense satellite. I'm going to take that out first. Divide the targets first. And then see what sort of salvage that starbase might give me. I don't know if there's a way to turn this Shadow Syndicate friendly again. So every voyage that I make in this space is going to be potentially very hazardous. Look at me. I'm almost the size of that station. Not sure why that thing didn't shoot me directly. Goodbye. Okay. Ooh, you're giving me goodies. I like that. Heavy armor triangle. Good. Okay, how are we going to play this? I think we need to barge through on one side. If I can knock out their turrets, that might probably help me. Yeah, they got laser turrets trying to defeat my incoming missiles. Successfully, it might seem. As long as they can keep wasting energy on that, it'd be great. And as long as I can keep hitting this part of the station, maybe I can make it to that core block. But this is a lot of armor. The challenge is, if I don't directly target the part that I need to get rid of, there is a chance that they'll start rebuilding that sector. So I'm gonna keep pushing. Yeah, missiles are definitely not the way to go. Turning some side armor towards the enemy to let the bow regenerate. Ooh boy, they just took out the whole stern. That's a problem. Come on. Get rid of those turrets. I really don't want this station to be regenerating the whole thing. We're getting there. Albeit slowly. Come on, get rid of those turrets. Before they get rid of mine. One of my turrets is in a really bad state. At this point I've... Yeah, they only got defensive turrets left. It's not like they really impacted my energy production that much. There we go. They didn't impact my energy production, but they did impact the level of energy that I can store. Not that that'll really make a difference today. Almost through. I think these weapons can actually have a higher rate of fire if only I could generate more power. Which, with the additional antimatter that I've now generated or found, I might actually be able to do. There goes the core. Boom. Okay, what you got for me? A medium power unit square. Well, isn't that exactly what I needed? This is going to generate 8 gigawatts and store 10. And it's the size of 2 of those things. This one generates 8. I don't actually like it. Well, actually, they do generate twice for 5 antimatter, as opposed to... Yeah, actually, it might work. I'm still generating only 61 gigawatts. 61. I got 16 disconnected modules in the form of these things up here. Do I have any additional thrusters? No, sadly not. Oh, come on. They really don't want to attach. Guess we could kind of do it like this. I still need to generate some more power. 77 gigawatts. If I fire everything, it's going to take me 76. So this actually works. Remove that. Replace that with one of those power cores. Oh, come on. Surely you're connected. All the batteries and the thrusters. Yeah, I'm going to have to rebuild this. I'm going to do that rebuild in the third and final part of this little series. Let me know what your thoughts are so far on ExoSpace. I quite like it, but it might not be for everyone. Thank you for watching this part. I'll see you soon in the last.